Hey everybody, Chris here. It's getting cold. Do you feel it? It's coming. Crypto winter. You think this is crypto winter? I don't know. Typically, you look back in history at the charts and you can see when the crypto winters happen. But when you're in the middle of it, hard to tell. Certainly, total bear market. Bitcoin down to 32,000. Dogecoin down to 11 cents. If you've been watching my channel over the past couple of weeks, I've been talking about this coming. So you've known that this is where we're headed. If you haven't, and you haven't subscribed to me yet, please subscribe. I appreciate the support. Hit the like button on this video too while you're down there, because we're going to be talking about crypto winter. Now, I'm going to show on the charts where I saw past crypto winters and sort of what happened. And what do we do in times like this? Because that's important. For the most part, we hold on. That's what you do. You don't sell. This isn't the time to sell. That's my opinion now. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is not the time to be selling, because if you believe in cryptocurrency and you believe in the future, then you hold what you got now. Yeah, it's tough looking at those red numbers and those losses, but you start to accumulate cash, wait for the time to buy some more. Dollar cost average, a lot of people talking about that. And you buy little bits at a time. Down here in these low numbers, or what we consider to be low numbers. Is it going to go lower? It very well could. Lot of factors are playing into why everything is down. We've got this global macro economy with high inflation numbers and raising interest rates, and that's not good. We've got the stock market not doing well. This correlation now more in line with Bitcoin and the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ is going down, now Bitcoin is going down. We used to think cryptocurrency is going to be a relief from that. Stock market's going down, cryptocurrencies can be a safe haven. More and more though, more institutions buying into Bitcoin, buying into other cryptos, and there seems to be a little more correlation. Also, as I'll show on the charts, as the price of Bitcoin has gone up over the years, we're not seeing those huge, great swings. They're becoming less and less on a percentage basis. And maybe as a store of value, what we're seeing is Bitcoin just being held by such a high percentage of people that the retailers who are doing the selling right now are causing the price to go down, while the bulk of people are just holding. Nobody's buying. Nobody's buying right now. That's the thing that's happening. Used to say that every transaction there's a buyer and a seller. Well, not in crypto. In crypto, you've got exchanges that hold these huge amounts of coins. If somebody sells, they're just selling to the exchange, and the exchange just holds more and more. So what we're seeing is the exchange wallets are getting bigger and bigger. People are selling. Not a lot of people are buying. Some think this is the dip, and they're buying now at the dip, but others holding on. Let's take a look at the charts, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. So I'll start here by looking at the Bitcoin chart, and here's Bitcoin 32.7 in the red. This is not good trading. This is going down. And we see Dogecoin as well, 11.5 cents. Big red candles this morning, Dogecoin taking a big dip. Overall, what I was seeing was Dogecoin to Bitcoin. That relationship was actually doing pretty well. Dogecoin versus Bitcoin, we were up here at 36. That's pretty good. Dropped down to 35 with this dip of Doge in the morning. But I think Doge is going to probably climb back in its relationship to Bitcoin in the short term. But what I want to look at is I want to zoom out and I want to look at the bigger picture. I'm going to go to the weekly. And what we see was a couple years ago, this big run by Bitcoin. So Bitcoin did this big run in 2019 into 2020. This big 2020 run up into early 21. that was crypto season, right? And that followed a Bitcoin halving back here in 20. Now, if you don't know what the halving is, that is when there's a reduction in the number of Bitcoins that are given to miners for validating transactions on the blockchain. That's going to happen again in 2024. So it happens every 4 years. So now we're looking at, from that halving and this big run, that's going to happen again in a couple years. But between then, we got to see how this trades. These big red candles here on the weekly, this is 6 red candles in a row, and now we're looking at a 7th as we're into the next week. That is very bearish, that move there. What I want to look at, though, is I want to go to the logarithmic scale. And this logarithmic, what this does is this looks at the gains, the trading in percentage basis. And this goes back to the beginning of trading of Bitcoin. And what I've done is I've drawn these arcs here, and these arcs represent sort of the highs and then the lows. Off the highs, these are the peaks in this red line here. The green is somewhat in the middle, and then this blue sort of represents an offset of that. Every time Bitcoin has dropped below that blue, that has been that accumulation period. That's when you buy. You don't buy when you're in the middle of these big runs. Yeah, you look at it now, and it's like, yeah, during this big run, you could have bought Bitcoin at 10,000 up here at the run, and now it's at 30,000. So, but at the time, that wasn't the time to buy. When you have this big run up, Bitcoin came up to 20,000 here and then dropped down. And what we saw in 2018, let's look at May 2018. Bitcoin was at 10,000. What happened? Crypto winter. This was a crypto winter right here. We had this almost a year of downward trading, including some big dips. Bitcoin went from 10,000 down to 3,000 in a matter of, let's say, 6-7 months was that downward fall. That was a crypto winter. We had another one back here. That's the other big crypto winter there, a year of just bad trade. Now, Bitcoin was at the 200s, 300s back then, but on a percentage basis, this was a long drawn-out period of tough trading for Bitcoin. And what we're looking at now, with the next halving being 2 years away in 2024, and we're sitting right here now. Like I said, it's easier to look back, right? And look at the trading and when that trading happened. But when you're in the middle of it, right here where we are, with all the things going on in the economy, you're like, this just isn't looking good. Right now, we're at this green line. We're at the middle. I think we're going to be dropping lower, and we're going to be hitting some accumulation. And that accumulation, where is that going to be? Well, we look at this white line. This is the 200 exponential moving average, or EMA. The 200 EMA on Bitcoin right now is at 27,000. A lot of people are predicting Bitcoin to drop to 29 and maybe even to 27. And that would be a time when you would probably see some buying. But what we've seen before is you get some buying happening, the price goes up, and then it drops even further. That's what happened back here in 2020, this big drop. We could see that happen again. We could see Bitcoin come down here. We could see some buying, it start to come back up, and then drop again. Now, if that happens, and we get to this blue arc here, this blue arc is at 17,000 right now. Bitcoin could drop down below 20,000. That could happen. And that could happen over the next number of months, maybe even into the fall. So we have to be ready for that. Again, what we're looking at is we're looking at the history of the trading. And yeah, history isn't always a direct indicator of what could happen in the future, but the charts don't lie. And you see these happen again and again. There's a big trading up, trading back down. You go sideways and there's a dump. Trading up, trading down. This one traded up again and then a dump. We've seen those dumps before. We could see that again happening here. For Doge, we look at Doge on the logarithmic scale. Where is Doge? So Doge, here's the 200 EMA. That 200 EMA light right now for Dogecoin, that's at 9.7 cents right now. Doge is getting pretty close to that. We could see Dogecoin drop below 10 cents in this kind of market and how this is happening. So we look at the news and we say, okay, the Bitcoin bloodbath will get worse. This article on Decrypt says this is fine. Certainly comparing to what's happening in the stock market, and the stock market is all red, that's also what's happening with the crypto market. So here is FX Empire, and here's the crypto market, all red except for the stable coins. But even Terra is having some issues as a stable coin. I don't know what's going on there, but we've got a lot of red in the crypto market right now. And in this article, it talks a little bit about halving cycles as well for Bitcoin. So that's a lot in the news right now, but we have a long way to go in the 4-year pattern. So that could be tough for cryptocurrencies. But if you read this Decrypt article, what do we look for in the future? Since the birth of Bitcoin, the crypto industry has been marked by spectacular booms followed by painful crashes. If history repeats itself, the impending downturn will serve as a healthy cleanse and reboot for the industry. That's what happened in 2013. That's what happened again back by the next boom rolled around in 2016. So what happened in 2013 when all crypto was down? Dedicated teams put their heads down, built a series of innovations that transformed the industry. By the next time the boom rolled around, crypto had gone from just being Bitcoin and a handful of altcoins to encompass smart contracts, utility tokens, multi-chain future. Similar thing happened after the bust of 2018. When crypto came roaring back in 2021, the technology had changed profoundly. A series of stylish NFT platforms had eclipsed the primitive crypto kitties of the previous boom. DAOs took off for real. The entire plumbing industry had become far more sophisticated. It's going to happen again, just as in the past. The dilettantes and the hustlers will move to some other shiny thing, while the real crypto believers will stick around to lay the groundwork for the next era. It's hard to predict exactly what this next era will look like, but it's a good bet. It's going to feature low gas fees, easy-to-use Layer 2 options, NFTs moving to the core of music and entertainment industries. It's a fun future to imagine, provided you have the stomach to get through another crypto winter. So where do we go from here? Well, as I showed on the charts, we're still a couple more years away from the next Bitcoin halving. And that could mean a prolonged sideways, maybe even downward trend. Hard to think that we could do this for 2 years, but we saw in the past there have been some pumps. Some pumps have happened during this time, leading up to the next halving. That could happen again. So be ready for those, because that certainly could happen. Some people may want to take profits on those pumps, but overall, it's going to be a long battle, I think. For Dogecoin, though, Dogecoin could be on its own track. We look at Dogecoin, we look at all the catalysts happening, why Dogecoin goes up in the first place. What we saw just over a year ago, after Bitcoin did hit 64,000 and then started trading down, that's when Dogecoin was taking off. Dogecoin continued to take off in April while Bitcoin was going down because of the catalysts and all the excitement for Dogecoin. We could see that again with Doge. Doge could have this big Tesla news, SpaceX news, a lot of other things leading Dogecoin to actually do very well. If you're thinking about buying Bitcoin or Dogecoin, what do you think is going to do better in the next couple of years? I'm looking at the charts and I'm looking at this halving 2 years from now, and I'm like, I don't know if Bitcoin's what I'm going to be buying, but Dogecoin does have the potential for these pumps. Now you got to watch the shorters and the dumps that happen. You got to, I mean, that's just the way Dogecoin trades. But overall, I kind of like Dogecoin. Let me know in the comments below what you think about crypto winter. Are we here? Is it still coming? Or is this just a bear market and we're going to turn around any day now? Give the video a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.